Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to review a book called After You by Jojo Moyes. Now, if you have been following my channel for quite some time now, you're probably aware that in last year around May or April, I read its prequel called Me Before You, and I absolutely loved it. If you want to check out, I will be leaving a link to that review somewhere over here and in the description as well, so you can check that out. So I read that and I completely loved it, but the book kind of emotionally destroyed me. So I was like, I will be reading the sequel after you, but I wanted to just give some gaps. So finally, I read this. I must say that I loved it a lot. Not as much as Me Before You, but yeah, I just loved it. Now, a quick brief for anybody who does not know what the entire storyline is about. So, talking about Me Before You, it was about Louisa Clark, who takes up a job as a caretaker of Will Traynor, who's a quadriplegic who just cannot move his entire body and is dependent on anybody else, which is like Louisa Clark, for anything. And he wants to commit suicide in Dignitas, which is an organization which hears to pleas of people who have genuine reasons and want to end their lives. Very sad, right? Now, if you don't want to be spoiled, if you don't want spoilers, here's an alert. You can skip to the timestamp I will be mentioning here. In Me Before You, Will Traynor dies at the end. He leaves a lot of money to Louisa Clark, and basically they were in love, right? He dies and Louisa is emotionally devastated, but she has to move on, and that's the note where the book ends. I was really surprised that what else can happen in the story when one of the main characters has died. How can the story progress? Anyhow, I started reading After You, and to be very honest, I really missed Will's character in the book. Like, for the initial few pages, it was very difficult for me to read the book without him. I had kind of gotten attached to the character, but anyways, I kept reading, and then in this book we soon learn that Will Traynor was like a jerk, a womanizer kind of thing. And then one fine day, Louisa Clark gets a visitor, and the visitor turns out to be Will Traynor's daughter. That happens, and then the entire story is about that. I won't be giving you any spoilers of what happens and what not, so I leave it on you to find it out. Now that you know a little about the story, let's get on with the review. Right, so the first thing that I want to say is that this book was a bit predictable. I will say, like, there were things happening in the book that I had predicted a while ago that it will happen. So that was a bit disappointing, but I was really impressed in the way Jojo Moyes took the story forward. In this particular book, After You, the best thing is the way he has portrayed all the characters. They are well written. The character development is really good as well. And my favorite character has to be of Sam. Like, he's just my favorite character, and he's gonna be my favorite character for quite some time now. And then one thing that I again really enjoyed in the book is the equation between Louisa's mom and dad. So basically, at a point, we learned that Louisa's mom starts reading some feminist texts, and she starts going to these adult education centers and stuff. And she suddenly has this thing that, cannot be, just a homemaker. I want to do something adventurous in my life. And then she's doing those things, and dynamics are changing in their home. And her father is really perplexed, like, what is happening. So at one particular point, it's so funny. Her father complains to her that her mom has not been shaving her legs. Just very weird. And then she tells him that, you do that first, you go get yourself waxed, and you'll know how much it pains, and then I'll get myself waxed and stuff like that. So that was really funny. I really enjoyed reading the scenes with Louisa's mom and dad in them. Basically, I can say that Jojo Moyes is really good with writing her characters. But also, one thing I would like to add over here is that Lily's character was like a stereotypical character. I don't know why every rich teenager in books has to be dissatisfied with his or her life, and they have so many luxuries. And they are used to it, they know, but still they want to get out of their homes, and they're just spoiled and everything. So that's a bit stereotypical image of teenagers that we see in a lot of books. But I must also agree that it was needed or it was suited to the plot in After You. As long as it was working with the plot, it's fine. Also guys, one thing that I really like about Jojo Moyes' writing is that she handles the um, dynamics between all the characters like really well. The way she establishes the relationship of all the characters with each other is like really good, and it feels very real. Overall, I enjoyed reading the book. Just like its prequel, it was emotional, but not as emotional as to make me cry like its prequel did. So I wasn't in tears by the end of the book, but it was definitely emotional. And I also really liked the ending of the book. It leaves the reader both happy and a bit sad at the same time, which is wonderful. Now I know that Me Before You was made into a movie. I haven't watched it. I want to, and I also really want that After You is made into a movie. Like I have all these, I have imagined all these characters, so I really want it to be made into a movie. And I'm also really excited in purchasing the third book in the trilogy, which is called Still Me, if I'm not wrong. Like I'm really curious what else can happen to this story. So yeah, I really enjoyed reading After You. I will definitely recommend it for anybody who likes romance novels or fiction novels. If you enjoyed watching this review, please do not forget to click on the like button and also on the subscribe button and the bell icon so that whenever I'm posting any other bookish video, you are notified.